Thank you everyone for being here. I'm truly excited to talk to you about industry leading AI ML based ITSM capabilities that we're already shipping. My name is Pradeep Kumar and I have had the honor of building most of these capabilities from the ground up. Before I get into the specifics for today, I'd like to acknowledge this year's Gartner report on ITSM critical capabilities. I'm happy to report the recognition and the highest scores that we have received for AI ITSM critical capability. There is no other vendor that is even close to BMC in this space. And my goal for today is to showcase many of these capabilities, just show it to you in action so that you are able to um, experience the difference AI and ML and the excitement it is bringing to our ITSM space. I'm sure by now you have seen BMC's legal disclaimer a number of times.
Before getting into the cognitive capabilities, let's just spend a minute or two just trying to get a sense around at BMC, how do we view this landscape, the environment in which we operate in, right? And without not going to take a lot of time here, we know multi-cloud is a reality. Most enterprises today are using more than one cloud, be it infrastructure as a service, compute as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, multi-device, a lot of devices making into our environment, right? Multi-channel customers, our users are demanding service on the go all the time from any point of view. So that's a necessity. DevOps is a core theme, right? We are trying to get things faster and sooner to our customers, capabilities delivered to our customers at a much faster, easier fashion. And then big data, right? So these are the set of mega trends that are empowering the environment in which we operate in. And I must tell you that from our point of view, we think cognitive automation is the key to deal with this complexity, right? And as you can see in some of these capabilities that I'm going to show you, you will see the next level of automation, the next level of intelligent automation, the next quantum leap in this efficiency that we will see. So, to set the context right, BMC is investing into cognitive massively, right? As you can see, that's our positioning. We really truly believe that this is going to be a differentiator in future, right? And so across our product portfolio, we're building these capabilities using AI, ML. So my discussion here today is going to be limited to um, the capabilities within ITSM domain, right? So incident change, problem work order, things like those. There have been other sessions where we're covering some of these other capabilities, chatbot, insight engine, discovery. So I'm sure you're aware of those, right? So just want to make sure that this is not it, right? For cognitive from BMC, we have much broader offering, a lot more capabilities. And final slide before we get into the specific features. And I think this will be helpful in getting to know our point of view and uh, how we are evolving these these large blocks of our infrastructure, our ecosystem, right? So we think at the core of this is going to be a system of intelligence, which is cognitive, which learns, which can predict, which is using latest sensory AI machine learning technologies powered by Innovation Suite. We allow you to plug your own machine learning provider. Obviously, we have an open strategy there. We think this system of intelligence would be powering system of record, and it will be assisting our personas with these beautiful insights that'll make systems and things work much better. And on top of all of that would be system of engagement that is also leveraging these capabilities and differentiations from system of intelligence, enabling us to provide a delightful experience to our customers. That's the future we envision, and that's where we're investing in. So with that, let's get into the specific features. One of the newest features that we have just released um, is cognitive change risk prediction, right? So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to assist our change coordinator as they're creating a new change record. We're allowing them to be able to get an input from the cognitive service using machine learning, right? So you you have you as you're creating a new change record, the user gets an input from the cognitive service, right? So within ITSM, within Smart IT, you can create a record, change record through any device, through mobile device, or through any other interface, right? As you go through this process, and you can manually assign a risk, or you can answer a set of questions to get to a risk, right? But it could be a guesswork on the part of the change coordinator rather than at that point we get the cognitive service to make a recommendation to you so that they know historically such and such changes, right? Taking the natural language into account, right? So what should be the risk level if we as recommended by the cognitive service. Another similar capability built around the same concept, right? Again, a supervised machine learning technology, right? Is that you can, um, as a problem coordinator, is creating a new problem record. Um, the system, the cognitive service makes a recommendation for the probable root cause, right? So based on the historical data, it basically system looks at the intent of the problem, matches the intent, the cognitive service matches the intent of the historical records, and comes back with a most likely root cause that could be a starting point for the problem coordinator to be to look at, right? So those are the two new capabilities which are supervised machine learning use cases. Now going to see a quick demo of this capability, and then we're going to jump into the other features. So what I'm going to do here is to just get into Smart IT and try to create a change, creating a standard change from scratch. As I come into it, my change coordinator is providing the summary and the description for the change record, and these other attributes on a change record. Now the coordinator chooses a risk, manually chooses a risk profile, and as they try to submit a change, what happens is the system automatically makes a recommendation saying, hey, this suggested risk level as computed by cognitive service is something else, and so that's a recommendation from cognitive engine to the change coordinator. Next up, we're going to see a quick example for the problem root cause scenario, and we're going to try to create a new problem investigation record. And so our problem coordinator is creating a problem record. Again, similar to the change flow, what's going to happen here is as they try to save it, they are going to be provided with a recommendation on the root cause using the cognitive machine learning capability. The next capability that I want to talk about is the cognitive driven auto categorization, right? So this is a little variation of the capability we just saw, right? But as we understand this, our system is determining the intent, user's intent, right? The real intent, and then using the machine learning service to um, to categorize or auto categorize
for that intent, right? So in this case, what happens is whether it's a smart recorder or a new ticket creation through UI or through backend service, you have if you have if you can enable the system to be able to auto categorize, right? So as a ticket comes in which does not have the category data populated, you can the system can mm, uh, pick up the description and use it and feed it to the machine learning engine. The machine learning engine will determine the intent, would sort of do its own magic and come up with the right sort of recommendation for those categorization. So that is another way that any incoming ticket from any source, you can enable this cognitive driven auto categorization. Now, to further enhance that, what we have done is that when a user is on a UI, we have added this recommendation button, right, which is with a brain icon that lets them know that this is cognitive service, so they can choose to do it on demand any point in time, right? So for some of those scenarios where the updates on a ticket kind of results into a need for recategorization of the ticket, you can just manually press the button and have the cognitive service get the right categorization data for you for OpCat, product cat, or resolution cat. Um, and as I covered before, the categorization is kind of the core for the how the ticket gets assigned, you know. And so how to auto classify the incident, or how sort of the support group, or to who's the support person, or so all of that is basically streamlined and helps you do that in much more automated, simpler, easier way. So we're going to see a quick demo of this capability next. In this demo, what we're trying to see here is that we have a ticket and the user is on the UI. The user is able to click the recommendation button and it basically goes to the cognitive service in real time, gets you the recommendation for product cat, op cat. So that's as simple as that, right? So you're editing an incident, something changed, you need to recategorize, you can do that on the fly. So let's say in this case, if there is a bit of a change in the description of ticket, right? The ticket says, hey, um, it cannot connect wireless, it cannot connect to Wi-Fi. It's a little bit different, right? In that case also the recommendation button will get you know the right set of categorization based on determining the intent of the user and doing a much better job of getting the right categorization for our ticket. So that shows you the power of cognitive, how it enables our users to be able to quickly get the right set of data automatically. Next up, we're gonna look into the next feature. So one of these new set of capabilities that are very well received in our customer base is this cognitive email analysis and response. So, depending upon who you are and your business practices, email has been a predominant medium of communication within most enterprises. If you look at last 20, 30 years, and there are a whole lot of email-based integration scenarios that are out there, and many service desks, if you see, a lot of volume of tickets come in through email, right? So you send an email to your service desk, it creates a ticket, right? And that's kind of one way, a channel where the information on the ticket is kind of minimum, right? Because users have the full freedom to send whatever little information that they want to send, creates a ticket. On the other end, in the service desk, it sort of requires someone to manually look at it, right, based on that little information, look at it, triage it, assign it to the right categorization, or assign it to the right support group, or enrich that ticket that, hey, the user is so and so, and maybe in this location, and talk about that context. So what we have done, and we have talked to many corporations, large corporations. What we found, 30 to 40%, 50% of the tickets are coming in through email. So the value of this feature is tremendous. As we go through these, you will see. So there are a bunch of capabilities in that area. The number one is that when an inbound email is coming to service desk, right? So we analyze the email using the cognitive capability, and if there is no sort of template, right? There is not enough information to determine a template. Um, what we do is we call the cognitive service and find the user's intent, and based on the intent, we get the recommended template. We apply the template before we create the ticket. We do that for incident, changes, and work order. So so what it does is it eliminates that manual triage of that ticket that's been created through email. The second capability is about being able to automatically respond to the email with a knowledge article, right? For self-help, right? So an email comes in, cognitive service evaluates it and responds back to the user with a knowledge article. The third one is to be able to respond back to the email with a DWP or digital workplace item, the catalog item in digital workplace that is our end user portal. So, those three set of capabilities, as you will see, and the auto categorization put together makes a tremendous value, or takes away a whole bunch of these or email generated tickets. So let's look into it a little more deeper. Um, so the first one that you know when the email is coming in, um, and we allow incident changes work orders to be created using email, right? So an inbound email, the user can designate some codes, or we can create an incident. By default we create an incident, all those sort of scenarios. So for all of those incident change or work order, when there is an incoming email, we evaluate that email, that intent, we call the cognitive service, we get a recommendation for the template, and we get a high degree of confidence, then we use that template to create that incident change work order with the right template. So as you know, with the template identification, then all other aspect about the ticket, right? For example, routing to the right support group, workflow, next set of steps, all of that is completely automated and it's streamlined, and it is driven by the user's intent. By the way, when we do that, as you can see here, it we put a record on the work note saying that, hey, cognitive service management um, applied this template while creating this ticket. So when a service desk person looks at that ticket in an UI, they know what information the ticket came in, and then the template got applied, and that's how the ticket is in. So from a value perspective, this capability has saved multiple FTEs, right? If you think about it, if you have 30 to 40% of your tickets coming in through email, and all of those tickets were requiring manual triage, now none of that manual triage would be needed because the template would be applied right away. You will be saving time. The users will be getting a response faster, and you are not going to need anyone to triage those tickets. So let's see a demo of this capability. I'm going to do here is in this case is I'm in an external email portal where I'm sending an email, and this email is going to result in creating a work order, and then we will drill down to that work order and we'll see how that ticket was created and what template got applied. So an email, composing an email to service desk. I need a 24-inch monitor installed at my desk. I got this email written up. I'm sending it over to the service desk. Um, I specify my location, anything like that. I send. Uh, as this email is sent, the ticket gets created in the service desk. I got a work response back with work order number. It says, hey, this is the work order number that's been created, and you can view it in Smart IT. It has all of the information that we saw that I sent. And now if I click on this drill down and just view the ticket in Smart IT, right? So the work order opens up. You see, I have a bunch of information. But the most important part, right, that the template, right, the cognitive service management found the right template. So for this ticket where I need monitor installed, hardware installation is the template that was applied by cognitive service management. So that's kind of the beauty of this cognitive service, because it's going to know the user's intent, it's going to find the right template, it's going to then start the right set of workflows, the support group assignment, everything else. So that's the template part, and this can be done for incoming change through email, incoming incident, or incoming work. Next up in this capability is being able to this cognitive email analysis and response capabilities to be able to respond back to the user with a knowledge article, right? So promoting self-service, right? As this incoming email comes in and we know that we have a knowledge article which is matching the user's intent, which can potentially resolve user's problem or the issue that they may be having. And then what we can do is we can find the right knowledge article and send a link to that knowledge article immediately, so that the user immediately gets a response. If they want to resolve it, they have all that information that they need. Basically, it improves the response time from service desk, eliminates any manual triage on the part of the service desk, and it promotes self-service, right? So so let's look at a quick demo of this capability. So for this demo, what I'm going to do is through this email portal, I'm going to send an email to the service desk, and I'm going to report a problem, and we're going to get a response back, and we'll see it'll have a link for the knowledge article. I'm trying to report an email. I say service desk. Sending an email to somebody says I'm unable to connect to Wi-Fi in office. Let's say that's the problem I'm having. I got my email composed. I send it. Immediately, I get a response back from the service desk that says, hey, this is a problem that we know about. We have a knowledge article for it. And here is the link to the knowledge article, and you can fix it yourself, right? So that's the idea, and we get all that information in this response email back. A user can click on this knowledge article link. It opens up the knowledge article in the Helix ITSM. You can view all that information in the system and resolve your problem right away. So this is what exactly most likely the service desk might have done, but a couple of hours later, right, based on how much, response time or delay that might be. This capability allows our customers to be able to take advantage of this machine learning capability, determining intent, matching intent issue intent with a knowledge article, and then responding back to the user in real time. Think about that. Another set of capability here is, again, for this incoming email theme is user users do not generally remember whether they need to submit a service request, um, or there is a catalog item for a specific request they might have, right? So if you have email as a channel, they're very much used to it. They are in their inbox, they just type it out and they send it, right? So in this case, what we do is we use cognitive service to determine the intent, and once we get the intent, we look for it, right? If there is a matching catalog item, then we respond back to the user with that link to that catalog item, so that um, the user does not really need to wait. They can quickly complete that service request or the set of information that's needed, and then the service desk is able to help them out. It makes the service desk operation much more smoother, faster, eliminates this manual triage of that incoming email that some service desk agent would have looked at it, would have basically um, then gotten back to the user hours later saying, hey, I need this information, or you have a catalog item that you need to complain. Yeah, so it eliminates all of that. It reduces service desk work for responding to these auto-created tickets. So we're gonna see a quick demo of this capability now. In this case, what I'm going to do is create a new, again, through the email portal. I'm just trying to send a new email to the service desk, and this, then we will get a response back from the service desk immediately, automatic response, and we'll see what that is. I'm creating a new email, composing a new email to service desk. So I need to replace my company provided mobile phone, right? And I'm just sending that email to the service desk. As as I'm sending that, again, uh, the email processing engine is gonna evaluate this and see, hey, there is already a DWP or digital workplace catalog item for it. So they're going to send it the response back with that link to that catalog item, which has the set of information that we need from the user, the justification, all other information, right? So that link comes to the user can click on that link, right? And it takes them there to order a mobile phone bill, that catalog, and they can complete the information here, right? This is the standard service catalog form. All the proper information is captured here, and basically in real time, service desk, without requiring any manual intervention, has deflected that ticket, and user is able to get the answer and move forward with the right set of information. That is the value the cognitive capabilities are bringing to service desk. So we now saw a bunch of capabilities with respect to this cognitive email analysis and response, right? Now, how do those things work together, right? There are many of those capabilities we just saw, and we basically, how do you determine which ones to apply, and how do they all work together? Basically, right, there's a set of these capabilities that are applied on an incoming email. So what is kind of the sequence of things that happen, right? So there is an email that's coming into service desk. Now, first thing we do is we evaluate for catalog evaluation, right? So we um, incoming email, we look at the email subject and the description, and we say, let's determine the intent, right? What is the user's intent? Let's get the cognitive service in. Now, first thing is there a catalog that's supports that sort of matching intent, then we know that this is basically something that we can sort of resolve the ticket right away, at least from a service desk point of view. So we do that catalog evaluation, and we find a matching intent, then we auto reply as we saw in the demo with the catalog item, right? And then user can move on. Suppose we do not find a matching catalog, right? Item. Then what we do is we then evaluate for a matching knowledge article, right? So we want to evaluate the intent for a matching knowledge article. And in case, assume, let's say if there is a knowledge article that we find, obviously with high degree of confidence, then we reply to the user with that knowledge article, right, as we saw in the demo. So then user can self-resolve the issue that they may be having. Now suppose user we don't find a good knowledge article, right? Something that's going to really solve that. We can determine, the system can determine, the cognitive service can determine that, hey, oh, I don't have a high degree of confidence that this article may solve the problem, right? So in that case, we may not even send the knowledge article to the user. What we'll do is we do then, hey, we're going to create a service desk ticket. Let's see how we can enrich the ticket by finding the right template so that we can have all of those data elements that are needed, or the categorization information that I need, the support group, everything else that's needed on the record, the ITSM record that I'm going to create. So if we find a matching template, matching based on intent. We find a template, we apply that template, and we create the ITSM record, right? And in this case, we might create an incident, change, or a work order. And in the fourth case, or the final case, let's say we do not even find a matching, intent matching template. Then in that case, we call the categorization service, right? That, hey, now this incoming email, I'm going to create um, an ITSM record. The email has bare minimum set of information, but we can at least find a categorization based on the intent and sort of populate that so that the record can begin the life cycle with the right set of alignment without having requiring any sort of manual triage from the customer, from the service desk. So that's sort of the way all of these cognitive email analysis and response capabilities come together. I would say that this is one of the most exciting set of capabilities for many of our customers, and they really have been very excited to see this level of automation and intelligence built in the system, and being able to serve the customers in real time with you know based on their intent, right? Providing the right solution with all the power of the cognitive machine learning capabilities that are there.
Another new capability that is cognitive insights on the reporting part, right? So you can you can build stories based on relevant correlation of data, right? So in a much more natural language narrative, you can get a deeper explanation of data pre-built using the report. That's cool, right? And then another capability is then automatic alerting when your metrics certain. So within your reports, you can define that when this metric reaches this point, then notify me, right? So you do not have to run the report on a periodic interval or anything like that. You can say when open incident count for this topic or this group reaches 100, for example. So on that report, you can say notify so and so, and then system will continue to do that. That's really exciting. um, One more capability that we have introduced, and it is such an sort of milestone for DevOps capability. And I challenge you, there is no one else in the industry who's doing it or who's even close to it. So, for years we have been shipping this pre-built out of the box integration between dev tools, right? Zira, um, Azure DevOps, Rally, and ITSM, right? And we support this for incident, change, problem, work order, both ways, right? Pre-built integrations, you can just configure the system, will continue to create changes or these records, and allow you to collaborate it. We have enhanced that capability to basically take dynamic factors in determining a risk level. So for example, let's say you're a bunch of developers working on a set of projects. They have they have their own features that they are completing. We can now look at the track record for this group, software development group, and what we can do is we can assign a risk number based on how successful their changes have been in the past, right? So so we can maintain a track record. If there is a new change comes in and it fails, then it brings their score down. So that's sort of capability. We can also take into account the technology is service or business service risk, right? So if it is back end service, front end service, payroll service, you can define and take those factors into account. Finally, in a much more sort of an open manner, we can allow you to pull in some specific data from a third party system, right? And allow you to bring that input in. For example, your unit test success rate. We can bring it in, and we can take that into account while assigning a risk. Obviously, with these capabilities, you can completely automate these change approval process, right? So um, dynamically, for every change that's being created for a DevOps item, we can allow you to say, hey, low risk ones go through the system, do not go through the approval. High risk ones go through the approval. That's the capability that we have launched. So this is really exciting in the world of DevOps. Finally, the point that I want to highlight here is that we have built these capabilities in a way that it allows you to use this cognitive service for any custom use case that you may have, right? So the way it is that we have built all of these as part of a cognitive service that can talk to all channels. And if you have your own use case, you can reuse this infrastructure for training the machine learning engine, for applying that or making that cognitive call, and sort of taking advantage for any use case. Again, I think the point here is that we understand that the potential for this cognitive capability is way beyond than some of these capabilities that are out of the box use cases that we are shipping, right? So we want you to take advantage of that, bring in that automation, and provide you that infrastructure, right? So the training tools, accuracy, statistical measures, all other infrastructure that you need, you can just completely reuse for your custom use cases. Finally, I like to mention that this is the vision, right? I think this is extremely important that we have a view into it, right? And this kind of explains from BMC's point of view where we're going, right? We're trying to build we're going in a direction where we want to have industry's first end-to-end platform for ITSM and ITOM powered by AI and ML. What it means is we want to bring, optimize, discover, monitor, service, remediate together on a single unified platform which is powered by cognitive. Thank you everyone for your time.